All right, hello. Well, welcome to the humble abode of the ground sloth. As you can see, we still have a lot of nature. We even have a tree, but since we live in the ground, we added some floors. Right? Can you imagine if I was a normal sloth? I'd have to be in a treehouse. But I guess this is a treehouse because I have a tree in the middle and built the house around it. Anyways, this is a Coco video series, part 4. That's right. So we're gonna go ahead and continue on. Now, usually the flow is I do skill selection, then I go over the passives related to their class, then I go straight into talking about their trait. So we did that already in the first 3 videos. Then usually I go on to talk about each of the legendary specific skills for the character one by one. However, if there's ever a topic related to the character that would be of note to do, I will do its own video. And these are more of the kind of game mechanic or theory craft type videos. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and take a look at Coco in context of other defender units. So let's go ahead and take a look at Coco. We'll look at her base stats. Okay. So Coco's base stats, we can see that she has 1300 attack. 1300 attack. About 652 defense. 37, almost 80, 3800 attack. Her speed is 221, placing her sort of like, I think it's in the middle of speed stat. Let's go ahead and check the speed stat guide real quick. 1 second. Alrighty. Well, here is my chart that shows the speed breakdown. This is on Reddit. I made a Reddit post, so if you want to go and check the Sword of Convallaria Reddit, I recommend it. I also made its own video. It's a bit lengthy, I do admit. I go over the sort of logic in the tactical flow of this game. It's on my channel. I'll link it in the description. However, what we can see here, though, is that with a speed stat of 221, that's going to place Coco right here as the slowest defender of the bunch. Now, the reason why she's going to want to move last is because Coco is a defender that's a support. So you'll notice that without having to watch the entire video, the mages that do a lot of healing and support are the slowest and the last because, well, in this kind of gameplay, encourages combat. And so to be proactive and encouraging combat and skirmishes, right? They want the healers to go last, so that way there's a big flow of combat that occurs going downwards, where the units before are at a disadvantage to the units that come after, right? So the CC mages set up the stage, defenders come next, melee watchers lead the charge, breakers, though, can counter defenders. Then we got the melee destroyers coming in next. Seekers can counter breakers. Then we have the destroyer mages, which they do magic damage. So essentially they can counter pretty much any melee unit that came before them because of the weaker magic defense stat. But who counters them? Well, it's the marksman in the watcher class. And then lastly, we have the watcher mages can counter destroyers, because some of them do have magical attacks, and watcher mages would definitely counter the melee destroyer ones, because the melee destroyers have weaker magic defense typically. So it's all in the flow of sort of the advantage of units that come after. And also punishes those people who move without thinking. Because if you move a unit in this game without thinking, then more than likely, according to this speed stat chart, Units that come after will punish severely that unit. Now, having Coco at the end of Defender matches this pattern. She'll be able to heal anyone that went faster than her, okay? Which is why she's last in the Defender category. She's also trying to position and stick to her allies. Okay. So there we go. All right, let's go ahead and go back. Okay, we're back. So that's good to know about her speed stat. Let's go ahead and take a look at her attack, defense, and HP values compared to the other units at 5-star. Okay, and we're here. So let's start off with the first defender on the list, and that is Tiden. So Tiden, or Tidon, or T to the E to the A to the D to the O to the... No. Mr. T? Mr. Tidon? I'm sorry, I thought of Mr. T. Oh, Mr. Tidon. He pitied the fool that gets in his alert range. I'm sorry. I need to pause real quick to start laughing. I'm gonna just keep laughing. Okay, we're back. The laughter's out. So, Tiden, we can see he has 1330, 681, and 3660. Okay? So how does that compare to Mtha? Well, let's go back to Mtha. Did I say Mtha? I meant Coco. Let's go back to Coco. Okay. Oh man, I guess I still was haunted by those that Mtha pool. Oh man. Oh, it's getting to my head. Anyway, so the attack value, Tiden has 30 more attack points, but that's kind of like whatever. Tiden is, weirdly enough, more attack oriented than Coco. The defense stat is 652. Okay. So that's a little less than Tiden by about 29 points. Okay. But the HP value is 3774. Tiden has about 3600 HP. So she actually has more HP. So she has slightly less, like very slightly, like less than 2 or 1% difference of attack, and about maybe like a 5% difference in terms of defense. But she makes up for that by having more health. Now, when you have more health, you have more effective HP. So when you're kind of looking at it here, having a bigger base HP is probably more value than having a like 30 more points of defense, because you can scale that with HP percentage increases, and she definitely gets that in her trait. Sort of going back to the game, I was going through my gallery of pictures of the game. I was like, why wasn't the music going? Okay, anyways, let's continue on. We need to be professional here. Okay. Next up is Mtha. Mtha has 1321 attack. Again, not as much as Tiden, weirdly enough. He beats her by 9 points. So Mtha has 21 more points of attack than Coco. Mtha is way more attack oriented than Coco is. 615 defense. Mtha does not have as much defense as Coco. 3701 HP. Mtha doesn't have as much HP as Coco, although not by much. Alright, Mtha does win out on speed though, so that's something to note. Also notice that the magic defense stat is, I think, the same, 385. Alright, next we have Nurgle. Now Nurgle is one of those two defenders that is more attack oriented. He is in the Alacrity sort of faction there, or grouping. And Alacrity units tend to be DPS type units, right? They like to hit hard and crit and do a lot of crit damage. So Nurgle is the kind of defender who likes to go on the attack. Okay? He is not a passive blocker. He's more proactive. So anyone who has Nurgle If you are just kind of like playing him like he is like a Mtha or like a PayPal guard, a Papal guard, okay? You're doing it, you're not playing him to his strengths because he does have 1453 attack. And we saw in the Xavier video series, Xavier has 1496 attack. So as a defender unit, Nurgle has pretty much one of the higher base attack stats that you can have for a defender unit. So anyway, so Coco obviously is going to be behind that by about 150 points or so. His defense stat isn't terrible. His defense stat is only 12 points less than Coco. But take a look at his HP. My goodness. His HP is a lot less. Okay? So that's the trade-off for having a higher attack value. It's got to come from somewhere. And here it comes from his HP value. He does have the ability to give himself a shield, which Coco does not have. Okay? So Coco has about almost 500 attack more. 500 HP more. Which is about like a sixth to a fifth more. That's almost like 20% more base HP than Nurgle. And then we have one more defender to look at and compare. Just kidding, two more. We got Magnus. Magnus again. He has a high attack value, 1420. Okay. He's got 669. So he's got the 420 and the 69 going on. He even has 420 magic defense. So you know what's happening with this guy. Essentially though, his HP though, again, being only getting close to 3,300. So high attack for defender, decent defense, but the HP value not there. Okay, and then lastly, I promise this time, is Alexe. Alexe, he has, again, high attack, stat 1434. So this is, I think, the highest. Let me check. Second highest behind Nurgle in terms of attack stat value. His defense is 573. His magic defense is a little bit more, but only by a little bit. Okay. And his HP value is sort of in the middle area for a defender. It's not quite 3,300, but it's not quite 37 or 3,800 like we're seeing with Coco. So yeah. So those are all the defenders. Let's go back to Coco. Okay, and we're back. So, how's this going to affect Coco? Well, that 3774 HP, you can only boost that before combat. You can't boost that stat value in combat. So, and all of the sources of flat HP in this game are pretty consistent. So we're going to look at theoretical HP values. Okay, in the next video, we'll look at theoretical HP values. And that in turn is going to help dictate what our sort of theory crafting for her ability to heal based off her own HP. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and do those in the next two videos before we go over her skills. Okay? Because that's going to come into effect. All right. So in this video, we learned that Coco has the highest HP, base HP of any defender. Also the weakest attack, but not by much, right? Like in terms of attack stat goes, the highest being Nurgle at 1496 or 1480 something, 83. So she's only behind by 183 points. Defense wise, she's fine. Magic defense wise, she's fine. And speed stat is there for a reason. All right. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.